Franchise record tying 17th straight win. I beg your pardon. See, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. That took a lot out of me. I'm old.
Why are you exhausted?
But I'm trying to get in playoff mode. I just told you because I stayed up late to watch the game. All right. If that was a statement win last night, as much as you could have a statement win on November 30th, what, pray tell, Michael Holley, does it say?
Well, I don't know if it was a statement win. I think it was just as Chris Paul. There are a few things I like that Chris Paul did there. Nice little, first of all, shout out to Howard U, the Mecca. Not that they need any help with their confidence. I think confidence is strong at Howard, but, give him a little shout out there with that shirt. That was excellent. But how about the flex? Not so subtle flex from Chris Paul. It's the third team that I've been on. There's won this many games in a row. So, I've done this before. And I think that's the point about the Suns, that people like you and people like me and people throughout the media, at least, continue to miss. This is a team that was up 2-0 in the NBA Finals. It's a team that went through the West. You can say they got their breaks or whatever. Sure, they got their
Everybody
breaks
does.
against the Lakers. LeBron got hurt and Anthony Davis got hurt. Whatever. Anthony Davis got hurt. Fact is, this is a team that has won the Western Conference, has won 2 playoff games in the 2 finals games, and was excellent last year. Was the number 2 seed in the West last year by a game. Lost the conference regular season by a game, and is off to a strong start this year. So the statement is, where y'all been? I guess the statement is a question.
Well, exactly.
Where y'all been?
That's why it is a statement win. That's why it was a statement win. It may not say, or it may not be predictive necessarily when it comes to this year's playoffs, but it's a statement win for, to your point, and you're not in this number because you've been a Suns guy since last year. So maybe that's why you didn't see it as a statement win. But it's a statement win to the people that weren't listening. It's a statement win to the people that were making statements before this season about the Lakers, about the Jazz, about the
Clippers.
Nuggets, about even the Clippers without Kawhi. But regardless, a statement about everybody but the Suns. It was a statement win for those, and shame on you if you felt this way, but for those that felt like last year was a fluke. It was a statement win with an exclamation point. It wasn't a statement. It wasn't a declarative sentence. It was an exclamation point when they won, despite Devin Booker going down in the first half with a hamstring injury. And they were still able to win. It's a statement when you hold Steph Curry to his worst shooting performance of his illustrious career when he's taken at least 20 shots, 4 for 21. Okay? It's a statement when you win 17 games in a row, regardless of who you're playing. Okay? Regardless of whether it started out relatively favorable and toughened up later on, that in and of itself is a statement. And the main takeaway from
By the
this-
way, think about their last loss before you get this. I'm going to take it and then pass it right back to you. You know what their last loss was, right? Their last loss was against the Kings at the buzzer. So, I mean, really, they've been playing good basketball. Even the last time they lost at the buzzer on a three-pointer. So they've been playing, and back to what you were saying, but they've been playing great basketball for a long time. To have an undefeated month is insane.
They get the Pistons at home on Thursday before they got that game the next night.
They'll probably lose that one.
At the Warriors.
They'll probably lose that one.
But they could go into the Warriors game with a franchise record winning streak of 18 games, looking to extend it to 19 at the Warriors. And if they win at the Warriors, this is only going to echo the statement that they made last night, which was the West still comes through us until further notice. As much as you want to anoint the Warriors, and the Warriors have been a feel-good story, having been resurgent, as much as you want to respect the Jazz as a team that has been through some things in the playoffs, and maybe it's their time to break through, as much as you may want to believe that the Lakers will get their act together and that LeBron and Anthony Davis still make them the favorites as they were in the preseason, and they'll figure out the Russell Westbrook experience one way or the other. As much as you may want to believe those things, the facts of the case are these are the facts, and they are undisputed, okay, which is the Western Conference goes through Phoenix until further notice. Doesn't mean that the Warriors can't have their say, especially when Klay comes back. But right now, the Suns deserve to be the favorites. And to your point, Michael, maybe they didn't say it to the people who already knew, but reminded those who, as Roy Jones once rapped a long time ago, must have forgot. They deserve to be the favorites right now.
Don't remind us.
It's a great song.
No,
that must be the money. Classics.
Yesterday,
must be
you
the money.
Look like a rapper.
Roy, must be the
today
money.
Today you quoting, yeah.
Must
today
be the money. Y'all must have forgot. And My Girl Wants to Party All the Time. The 3 best bad good songs of all time. Nonetheless.
Oh man,
I digress.
And you ain't even joking. You ain't even joking on the Eddie Murphy thing.
No,
you ain't joking on that song.
I don't play when it comes to Eddie Murphy.
By the way, when we get to it, we had some fantastic responses led by our boy Mark Spears on what you look like. He had a lot. He said he called you Al B. Unsure. He called you like Music Soul Child. He was getting a bunch of them off yesterday on Instagram. But anyway, I have a developing thought to help me with this. It's not developed to the point of inevitability like your shirt, where that Sean Kemp, well, you know what's about to happen. You got it in motion. The artist is in motion, and you know Sean Kemp's about to do his thing. That is Sean Kemp, right? I can't see that well, but I think it's Sean Kemp.
It is.
But here's the thought. Here's the thought I have about Phoenix. And help me out here, Mike. I'm serious on this. I was thinking about.
I'm listening.
The Suns winning 17 straight, and I remember their press conference, and I thought they did okay. It was okay. It wasn't an A+. It was probably like a B. In the wake of the Robert Sarver revelations and that great story by Baxter Holmes, they came out and talked about, hey, how we just got to focus. We just got to play ball. We got to hoop. And, it's been cool since everything I've seen has been cool, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I take these thoughts, these allegations seriously. We just don't know. We got to handle our business. And since that time, I'm guessing they haven't lost. And if they have lost, it's one. Maybe it was a Kings game. But do I give them credit right now when the investigation is just getting started? Or will it be more of a story if they're able to maintain their focus when we start to uncover some of these NDAs, if these NDAs cover some of these employees, and whether they can speak freely against Robert Sarver? I mean, because I can't ignore what's happening. They're doing this. As much as I'd love to just say, oh, it's all about basketball, nothing else matters, human beings don't work that way. You're in an environment, and none of us exist in a vacuum. So they're playing like this with this backdrop of an NBA investigation in their workplace.
I think
it might affect
I know
somebody.
what you're getting at. Even if the investigation were to uncover or reveal or confirm more salacious details, to answer your question in a word, no. I do not see it distracting them more and give them all the credit you want right now. The only way it would distract them more is if somehow
you give them credit now for being focused,
yes,
or is it
the only?
Or is this?
Yes,
you do.
Of course, absolutely. And I'll tell you why they make it look so easy in a moment. But the only way this gets worse for them, in terms of a distraction, is if somehow, and I seriously doubt it, but I'm just saying somehow, Monty Williams and Chris Paul or Devin Booker or somebody were ensnared in this toxic workplace environment. This seems like an ownership issue, and most professional coaches and players are adept at compartmentalizing. None more so than Chris Paul. You want to talk about having been there, done that, and gotten a proverbial T-shirt. Who has dealt with more drama in his career? We said this when the investigation first broke, or when the story first broke from Baxter Holmes. Who's dealt with more drama in his career at way more inopportune times than this, than Chris Paul when it comes to ownership? And tragically, who has dealt with more pain and suffering in his life than Monty Williams?
This point about Monty Williams is absolutely, I can't get it out of my mind. I thought about it during the NBA Finals, Mike. Great point about Monty. That was one of the reasons, as much as I wanted my Milwaukee Bucks to win, just so I could wear their gear and talk a little more trash to you, Monty Williams, he inspires me, Mike. He really does. I can't say that about many NBA coaches. And I'm talking about away from, what you do on the court is fine. You have a couple of 60-win seasons and all that stuff. Great. But Monty Williams inspires me just by the way he handled the most tragic thing that any husband and any father
Oh my God.
can think of experiencing. And the way, I mean, do you remember his words? And
Yes.
he's eulogizing.
He turned his test
family
into a testimony. He turned his test into a testimony.
Incredible.
He was
Just an
preaching
incredible
during the eulogy. No, he's an incredible man. Chris Paul, again, for whatever you want to say about what he hasn't done in the postseason, he's as great a floor general as we've seen in NBA history. I think I've said this to you before. I think I might have said it to you in Tahoe and many times before that he may not be the best point guard of all time, but nobody's ever done it better. And but he's certainly in the conversation.
But anyway,
well,
I like the
think we saw
phrasing.
last night.
It's really well
It's all in the
phrased.
phrasing. I think we saw last night.
Nicely phrased. Doesn't pass the fact check though. Forgot.
But show me the lie. Show me the lie when it comes to this team right now and Chris Paul's imprint on the team. In terms of clutch, they are easily the best clutch team in the NBA in the last 5 minutes. They win close games because they don't throw the ball away. Last night was a sloppy game, more so on the Warriors side. That's a testament to the Suns' defense. They defend as well as anybody. The JaVale McGee pickup was incredible, and we know about their offensive prowess. We know about their offensive prowess and their versatility. So what don't they have? And show me the part about this team where you say, especially because they've already done it. You can't even say about the Suns, well, can they do it in the playoffs? Well, they've done it in the playoffs. They started it off. They were 2-0. They were up 2-0 in the finals.
That was
so
the question.
They're not a team that's a cute.
Year.
Right. That's a last year question. They're not a cute regular season team. They're not a cute regular season team. So when you combine their body of work since the bubble, if you won't go back that far, since the bubble going into last year, and now this season so far, we're really talking about a juggernaut. There are dynasties in the NBA, and there are juggernauts. This team right now is a juggernaut. And there's nothing really, barring injury, that can stop them. We'll see if Golden State can interrupt this winning streak on Friday night. You get the last word before we hit this break.
Well, just a couple things. One of them is related to the Suns, and another one, and this is a conversation. We won't settle this right now. Just want to put it in your hearing. So maybe just for further consideration, a topic for another day, an evergreen day. With the Suns, you said nothing can stop them. Maybe what stops them is what stopped them last year. Not necessarily, not specifically Giannis, but just the performance from. Yeah, like just a transcendent, because they were fine with the all-time great player until the all-time great player said, "Oh, I got another move. I've got something that I haven't seen before, and you guys haven't seen before either." So an all-time player went to that next level. Yeah, it stopped them. So that's one thing that can stop them in the West, because Steph Curry had a bad game last night. I know it kind of cancels out. You got Devin Booker playing 15 minutes, and you got Steph Curry 4 for 21.
And that's a testament to Phoenix's defense, but you can't count on 4 for 21 from that guy.
Yeah. You can't count on that.
100%. 100%.
On Friday, we know Steph could go for 50 or 60.
He could.
Really, it's not crazy. And plus, he got Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson in the bullpen, or Klay Thompson in reserve, for those who are offended by that phrase, or that word. But here's the other thing. Here's my evergreen one. When we talk about great point guards, and if you really want to get granular with this thing, and just get right down to just if you just define it as running an offense at a high level and being a regulator, being an elite regulator, I'll tell you a name we never ever mention. And it's funny because the guy is in the public eye constantly and has been for a decade or a decade and a half on TV. Mark Jackson. Why don't we ever talk about Mark Jackson? Mark Jackson, I would argue that just as a pure point guard, Mark Jackson is probably a better pure point guard than Chris Paul.
Bullshit.
I mean, he's
like, honestly, bullshit. Okay. I mean, Mark Jackson was nice, but like, you know what? No, we don't have that. That's not an evergreen topic. We can squash that right now. No.
Let me ask you this.
Mark Jackson was not better than Chris Paul.
Do rankings matter to you? Do the numbers matter? Because I think Mark Jackson's numbers are a lot better than you remember.
No, it's not. No, I'm not dismissing his accomplishments. I'm not dismissing. I'm not being dismissive of Mark Jackson.
Do you know how high?
I'm just
saying.
Do you
know how high he is on assists? Do you know how many? I mean, he's
top
one
2,
of the
3?
all-time greats. Yeah, he's one of the all-time greats in the
Michael, as we like to say, I'm familiar with his work. I watch Mark Jackson. I know who Mark Jackson is. I'm not some kid that didn't know who Mark Jackson was before he coached the Warriors. Mark Jackson ain't as good as Chris Paul.
And I'm familiar with your work. I'm familiar with your work too.
Full stop.
So hold on a second. Why couldn't that be I disagree. The strong
why it had to be
BS
why
tells
it had to
me
be
that
so strong?
Yeah, it's strong. Like, oh, that could never be. That could never be. Like, why is that?
I'm sorry. I had this visceral reaction. We're way over time. Two things as we go to break. One, that might be your, I pay attention to this if nobody else does. That might be your best feed item entry, the warmth of these suns. Great reference to Isabel Wilkerson. And lastly, you mentioned Klay Thompson. Homeboy looked like he ready yesterday. Again, we get excited about little things when it comes to this.
Yeah.
He had a game winner in practice. So there's that. But we'll see if Klay Thompson ends up coming back and how quickly is the ground running.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.